It's been a very long time coming since I wanted to make this video concept come to life, and we're finally here. This is a topic that upsets me, but at the same time I had to put my big girl pants on and sit down and actually do some research with regards to this, and we're finally here. So I am finally going to talk about the topic that I absolutely despise, but I feel like it's absolutely necessary to continue to educate people about the littlest things, because sometimes you know when someone speaks to you and you can tell that they have no idea what they're talking about. Exactly. It's very important to clearly define what the topic that I'm going to talk about today, which is colorism and not racism. Racism is discrimination based on someone's race, whereas colorism is a discrimination based on someone's skin tone, specifically those who are of a darker skin tone. It's discrimination that often occurs within the same ethnic group, like your own people will be discriminating against you just because of your skin tone. It's not only prominent in the Black community, but it is also prominent in people who are Asian and who are Latin or Latin American. The preference and this concept and this idea is that people of a lighter complexion are often praised, they are highly favored, they're more praised, they have more opportunities, they have proper representation, and also they are seen as more conventionally attractive. The concept within itself is the reason why we will never be able to grow as a community, whether that's a Black community, Asian community, Latin community, or whatever the case is. That is the main reason, because it is proof that people are giving into the Eurocentric beauty standards that have been really and truly set forward in the past, that has been the main beauty standard since literally back in the 1800s and even earlier, like back when colonialism, things that happened in history was all prominent within the world. History is repeating itself in a society that has evolved, in a society that's supposed to be doing away with the things and the atrocities and the horrible beliefs and ideologies that historical figures held, and other historical ideologies that were dehumanizing other people of other racial groups and everything. It's very sad for the kids growing up, because the world has the standard of these Eurocentric features, right? Thin nose, thin lips, lighter, like fair skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. How must that feel for the younger kids, for the younger generation, who have little to no representation of people who look like them? And that is what essentially makes kids develop a mindset of thinking that they're actually inferior. And this is what the perpetrator, this is what the culprit, this is what the oppressor wanted the youth and the entire racial group or a particular community to feel the way in which they felt. Because I think a lot of people still think that our society, the society that we live in today, is better because of, okay, we have advanced technology, we have freedom, we have all of these things, and people can't just say anything to us. Now we have rights, and they can't just do whatever they want with us. But I do feel like a lot of people still don't face the consequences of their actions because they have privilege, and I think that it's okay and it's normal for them to accept and to come to the realization that you do have privilege. Things like colorism and racism are things that will never be able, I feel like, sadly, to be removed from society. The ideologies of people who have oppressed, right, have been stuck into the people who begin to now think that they actually are inferior and that they're actually not good enough based on what they've been told in the past. And the problem with this is that it's being passed down to generation, and everybody starts to think the same. Imagine growing up in a household of dark-skinned people and you don't seem to like yourself because your mom or whoever in your family is trying their best to change their skin tone because they want to fit the beauty standard. Because of this, because of that, the child within itself is going to inherit that and also think that that is right and that's what they should follow, because every child wants to sort of like be a replica of their parents. So growing up with that poor representation of your identity as belonging to an ethnic group within itself, and just seeing that it's not praised and not represented well, will obviously curate a society and a youth of kids and young people who just don't feel good within themselves and who don't even want to probably identify as ethnic group anymore. These kids don't see a lot of them being CEOs or a lot of them owning their own businesses, being successful. The media, the beauty industries, these ads, everything, they don't do enough for women who are darker skinned. Let's be honest. This is not to say that light-skinned people should not be represented and that they should not have the opportunities. I mean, if you have the talents and the skills and whatever the things that are necessary in order to fit a particular criteria, girl, then so be it, do your thing, right? But my thing is, like, I'm trying to emphasize that there's nothing wrong with both having the same amount of representation opportunities based on their talents and skills, because I feel like for anything, for a job, for whatever you're doing in life, if you fit the criteria based on your talents, your skills, your ability, you should get the opportunity. This whole thing of colorism actually turns a lot of people against each other. It actually does. You will find people in the same ethnic group literally hating and being prejudiced, and it's just so crazy to me because it's like nothing makes us more different. It's just like it's your mindset, it's all in your mindset. And the thing is, like, it also goes to show that if the parents themselves do not like themselves, do not pride themselves in their identity and their heritage and their culture and where they come from in general, if they do not like that, that is going to be on the kid within themselves, because they're going to be a poor role model for the kids. And also, going back to the Eurocentric beauty standards, right? There are products that, and I think it's very popular in Asian communities, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I did not do my research based on this one. Low-key sure that it's mostly prominent in the Asian community, where you can lighten your skin, like your whole entire skin and everything. And I'm like, everybody knows about it. I mean, it exists also a lot in Africa and everything. And I think that raises a big question mark. It raises a big question mark as to why that was even made in a lab, as to why that was even a concept. Like, why would someone create something for you to like? They're just telling you that you shouldn't like yourself. They're just telling you that if you look like that, you're not beautiful, and you're giving it into it by purchasing that product. Big question mark, honey. Big ass question mark. That is just weird from you, and that's weird from them. I'm not talking about products that are for hyperpigmentation. Like, that's a whole different topic within itself. So many people have internalized racism, internalized colorism, that they fall into this trap of thinking that they're not good enough. And the thing is, in the process of it all, they end up hating themselves, because essentially, if you have internalized colorism, you hate yourself. Essentially, like, that's just and the thing is, they think that they're gonna love themselves when you're not gonna love yourself when you get lighter. Stupid. Are you dumb? Low-key, right? I understand that someone can have a preference and whatnot without being racist or colorist or anything, but I feel like I this will be a topic for another day, right? I want it to be something that I'm just gonna let simmer, you know? Someone can comment down below whatever they want to comment. I feel like I will speak about it probably another day or whatever. But I feel like preference, or someone having a preference, has led room for people to use that as an excuse to be racist or to be colorist. Let's not lie. I feel like a lot of people use the fact that, oh, I have a preference in order to be racist. Oh, I have a preference in order to be colorist. Of course, you can have a preference without being racist. You can have a preference without being colorist, whatever the case is. But I just feel like it's a contributing factor that a lot of people twist. You know, they twist it into their own liking, so it doesn't seem a particular way, but it is. Well, I'm tired of light-skinned people thinking that they don't have a privilege. You do have a privilege, okay? There's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. Maybe you don't feel comfortable, like the fact that you do have a privilege or whatever the case is, but there is such a thing, right? And as much as we want to say that, oh, this and that, we know what the matter of the fact is, right? The thing is, I think some of them take it to heart and take it so personally that they think that we're attacking and we're taking away from their talents, their skills, their abilities and everything. And it's like, no, just recognize it. I feel like just acknowledge it, because if you're gonna deny it, then it's like, girl, really now? Like, you denying it is you denying that colorism even like exists. Also, man, just educate yourself, learn more about your heritage, learn more about yourself. Just learn and educate yourself and educate your kids, and make sure your kids feel comfortable in their identity and in their skin, please, because they're gonna create people that are literal menaces to society and people that don't need them. Sorry to say that, but there's a lot of people in society where they have the biggest, and we don't need it. The ideologies are skewed, they are wrong, they are morally incorrect, and all of these things. And it's just like, you produce that, you raise that. It has to come to an end. Also, let's practice culture appreciation and not be stealing other people's things from their culture and then calling it yours or whatever. That's cultural appropriation. Let's not do that. Please educate yourself. Start supporting people who look like you. Be more invested in people who look like you, because I feel like when you're more comfortable with, listening to the music or being inspired by their ideologies and whatever the case is, and just looking more into people that look like you, and you're able to set the standard for yourself rather than giving it into the Eurocentric beauty standards. Also, allow it to broaden your mind and the way in which you think about yourself, because I feel like that way you won't be adopting this inferior complex or inferiority mindset and all of these things. And it's just like, you will learn to love yourself and accept yourself and actually see that, okay, this is me, and you know what, I actually love it, I fuck with it. And with that being said, you guys have come to the end of the Unfiltered episode 5. I hope you guys learned something. Anything you want to educate me on in the comments, please do so, but respectfully, because I try to be very respectful as well. So I would appreciate that respect back. And yeah, comment down below your thoughts and your opinions and the whole preference racism thing. You can comment down below, And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.